Let's look at what you can expect from your total FERS retirement package. Your FERS annuity, your Social Security benefit, and your TSP. In this video, we're going to take a look at 3 possible scenarios for a FERS employee who can retire at her MRA, minimum retirement age, of 57, or wait until she's eligible for a reduced Social Security benefit at 62, or wait even later until she reaches her Social Security full retirement age, or FRA, at 67. We'll see how her total benefit can grow depending on when she retires from her federal career and begins receiving each of the 3 benefits in the total FERS retirement package. We'll assume several things. An average salary of $100,000 retiring at 57. Now, if she waits until she's 62, we'll raise that average salary a little to $105,000. And if she decides to work until she's 67, we'll give it another raise to $110,000. To calculate her TSP balance at retirement, we'll assume that at age 40, she had a balance of $175,580 in her TSP account. This amount will grow substantially by the time she retires, and it will continue to grow even after she retires if she chooses not to begin withdrawals immediately. If she retires at age 57, she would be eligible to receive a FERS annuity supplement. This is a payment based on the estimated benefits she would receive from Social Security at 62. We'll assume that her Social Security benefit at age 62 would be $18,900, and based on this figure, if she doesn't apply for Social Security until her FRA at 67, her benefit would increase to $25,200. We will also assume the following actuarial life expectancies for her. At age 57, she has a life expectancy of 30 years. At 62, that life expectancy is 25 years. At 67, that life expectancy is down to 20 years. These numbers will be used to calculate lifetime monthly benefits from TSP. They are rough estimates projecting a life expectancy in all cases of 87 years. And the TSP monthly payments based on that figure would last until the retiree reached that age, 87. So retiring at 57, she could draw 1/30th of her account for 30 years, but at 62 it would be 1/25th, and at 67, 1/20th. Here then are the 3 scenarios we'll be looking at. Actually, there are 4, with the second one being a subset of the first. Let's look at the first. In that scenario, we look at her retiring at age 57 with 30 years of service. At this point, she can get her FERS annuity based on those 30 years, plus a FERS annuity supplement and an actuarial monthly TSP payment. The supplement will be based on a percentage of the estimate Social Security calculates for her at age 62. In the subset, we'll be looking at what her benefit would be if she retired at 57 but held off on Social Security benefits and TSP benefits until she was 67. At 67, her Social Security benefit would be at the full rate and not reduced by any post-retirement earnings, and her TSP would have grown at an annual rate of 2.5% in each of the 10 years after her FERS retirement. In the second scenario, she retires at 62 with 35 years of service. She qualifies for a FERS annuity, of course, and it will be greater because of her additional 5 years of work and also because of the more generous annuity computation she would receive because she's 62 with more than 20 years of creditable service. In the final scenario that we'll be looking at, this employee retires at age 67 after a federal career of 40 years. In this situation, she'll get a FERS annuity based on 40 years of service, plus a full unreduced Social Security benefit. Also, with 10 additional years of TSP contributions, compared to what she'd have retiring at 57, she'll have a significantly larger TSP account and potential benefit. Let's take a closer look at that first scenario, one where she's retiring at 57 with 30 years of FERS service and withdrawing regular monthly payments from her TSP account. At 57, with 30 years of service and an average salary of $100,000, she'll get $30,000 in FERS annuity. She'll also be eligible to receive a FERS supplement of $14,175. Now, this supplement is based on a percentage of her age 62 Social Security benefit estimate of $18,900, and in this case, based on 30 years of FERS service, she'll get 75% of it. Her actuarial life expectancy at 57 is 30 years, so she can draw 1/30th of her TSP balance, or $20,283 a year, each year. Note that her TSP balance has grown from $175,580 at age 40 to $608,500 because she's been contributing 10% of her salary each year, reaping the additional benefit of the 5% agency matching contributions, and her account has grown at a modest annual rate of 2.5% per year. So her total potential compensation as a FERS retiree at age 57 would be from FERS $30,000, from her annuity supplement $14,175, and an annual withdrawal from her TSP account of $20,283 with a total benefit of $64,458 a year. That's 64.5% of her pre-retirement income. It falls below the 70 to 90% of pre-retirement income financial advisors recommend for retirement, so she would most likely work after she retires to supplement this retirement package. However, if she intends to work after she retires, she has to be mindful of the fact that her FERS supplement will be subject to a reduction based upon the Social Security earnings ceiling for that year. The earnings ceiling for 2014 is $15,480. This means that she could earn up to that amount in 2014 without reducing her FERS supplement. Earnings above that amount would cause her supplement to be reduced. The reduction would be $1 for every $2 over the earnings ceiling. Once again, her total compensation as a FERS retiree is at 57 is $64,458. But she could work after she retires, earn up to the Social Security ceiling of $15,480 without penalty, and this would increase her total post-retirement income to nearly $80,000, or 80% of her average salary, which would be well within the 70 to 90% replacement level recommended by financial advisors. Now let's look at what her total retirement compensation would look like if she retired at 57 with 30 years of service, but didn't apply for Social Security benefits or for TSP monthly payments until she turns 67. This assumes that she will almost certainly be working after she retires to supplement her FERS annuity until she turns 67. Her benefits would have grown by age 67. First of all, her FERS annuity would have grown by means of annual COLAs of 1.25% from age 62 to $32,321.50 a year. That 1.25% cost of living is a conservative guess at what the average COLA will be over time. Her Social Security benefit, no longer subject to the earnings ceiling, is at the full rate now of $25,200, and her actuarial life expectancy, now 20 years, she will be able to withdraw a larger monthly payment from her TSP account than she was able to at age 57. Additionally, that account balance will have grown untouched for 10 years to $688,986, So she can now begin a lifetime TSP withdrawal of $34,450 a year, or $2,870.83 a month. So her total compensation at age 67 as a FERS employee who retired at age 57 and began Social Security and TSP payments at 67 would be $91,971.50. In this scenario, then, at age 67, she'd have post-retirement income equal to 92% of her pre-retirement income, and this is at the high end of the financial advisor's recommendation for a comfortable retirement income. Okay, now let's look at the next scenario. This is one where she retires at 67 with 35 years of FERS service. She begins her Social Security benefits and monthly withdrawals from her TSP account at retirement. So her FERS annuity will be larger than if she retired at 57, of course, because of both her additional years of service and now her eligibility for the 1.1% formula because she is 62 with more than 20 years of service. She would get $40,425 in FERS annuity. Social Security will pay her $18,900 at 62, but this benefit is subject to that earnings ceiling of $15,480. TSP has grown now since she was 40 from $175,000 to $783,837, and with an actuarial life expectancy of about 25 years, she could draw $31,353 a year. Her total compensation then, retiring at 62, taking her Social Security and her TSP benefits at the same time, would be $90,678. This is the top end of the 70 to 90% replacement income recommended for a comfortable retirement. Additionally, she could work and earn up to $15,480 without causing a reduction to her Social Security benefit, and those earnings would put her income over 100% of what she was making before she retired. Naturally, if she retires at 67 with 40 years of service, her total benefit is going to be greater still. Her average salary will have increased to $110,000. Her FERS annuity would have increased to $48,400. Her Social Security benefit at the full rate would be $25,200. And finally, her TSP account would have grown to nearly $1 million. So with an actuarial life expectancy of 20 years, she could draw $49,405 from TSP. Her total compensation then, if she waited until 67 to retire, would be about $123,005, or about 123% of her pre-retirement income, 112% of her pre-retirement income of $110,000. This is well above the 70 to 90% recommended. In addition, if she wanted to continue a post-retirement career, she could do so without her earnings affecting any part of her retirement benefit. Now, these are just examples of what FERS can offer you in retirement. They show the possibilities that a FERS employee has to consider before retiring. The TSP growth was based on a consistent and very conservative rate of 2.5% a year. The cost of livings for annuities was assumed to be 1.25%, and pay raises were assumed to be 1%. These figures could certainly be greater and almost certainly will not be lower in reality. Moreover, the percentages of pre-retirement income are relatively constant for any employee who contributes 10% of earnings to TSP. So if your average salary is closer to $60,000 than to $100,000, you stand to get the same percentage of your pre-retirement income as shown in these scenarios. It is within your control. You can increase the amount of your total FERS benefits package by working for a longer period of time, by contributing more to TSP before you retire, and letting your account balance continue to grow after you retire, and finally, by applying for Social Security at your full retirement age, or FRA, which is 66 or 67, depending on your year of birth. How much you get is largely up to the decisions that you make.